And right, all of our deathly friends. Hello, come one, come all, please and thank you. Some blast motes for your trouble, my friend. And not too shabby. There we go. A little bit unorthodox to get the pathing to work out there, but we do manage to walk our yak buddy directly into the moat, so that is fantastic. And we'll just blitz our way through the last little bit of this level. At least that's the current plan, and we'll see how it all goes down. Maybe I try out some fireball action here. Definitely has good damage against our elephantine friends, and that should be just about perfect. If I can just be given enough opportunity to fully recover, wonderful. In general, not too worried about elephants. We've been dealing with them fairly well over the course of this run so far, but still want to give them their due respect regardless. And of course, Mark just opens us up for some Nethack friends to come at us here. I'm taking a decent amount of damage from our blast motes this time. Did I lose? Did not lose some fire resistance, so I don't actually know what is going on there, but that's fine. And we'll just leave you, my friend, immediately head up. And how are we doing? Shields is at 3, which is not grand, but potentially, since all of our spells are relatively low level, we don't have access to Dragon Form yet. Probably still a ways off. Yeah, 32, still a ways. Let's try putting on the shield now. Irradiate no longer really an option. Fireball's not great, but also not too bad. Guess the disadvantage there is we're pretty much at the skill cap that we set on fire magic, so it's not going to come down a whole lot, the failure rate for fireball. Except with our shield training, I guess, so never mind, ignore me. I'm just talking out my butt here. Yeah, I think we're happy to wear this for now. Give us a little bit extra defense here. That willpower is just wonderful. Not super necessary in Lair itself, but definitely as we continue to make our way forward, especially once we do end up heading to Orc, which is probably going to be fairly soon here, that we'll at least clear out the first floor, maybe the second, see how it goes. Oh gosh, that polar bear was not going down without a fight. I respect your tenacity and your integrity, my friend. In fact, I just respect you. Doesn't mean that we won't immediately destroy them to the very fiber of their being, but such is life. Such is the way things go. And hello, my deathly friend. Let's try this again. Should go a little bit smoother this time since we are in a decent spot. As I pull a few too many strings to make that hit, and it very much is no longer worth it. Especially since I didn't get knocked away from the concussive blast walking right next to a wall, so that was just silly of me, but hey, it all ends well here, and so it's not the end of the world after all. And that is perfect. So that is probably all we want to do in Lair for the moment here. We'll leave Lair 5 for a short time at the very least, and I think we will head to Orc to just try to keep launching our overall experience here, get to a point where we're feeling pretty happy. Transmutations and shields both coming up. Fighting might be worth it to turn on too here, though I'd like to continue to get everything trained up. I guess suffice it to say, I'm feeling very indecisive about our choices and options here. But that's fine. Let's head into, I almost said Speed Ray, but Orc, of course. And we do have a Frost Portal. On Orc 1 is not great. You never know whether that means that it's going to be available to us or a bit tricky to make happen. Usually it ends up being the latter, unfortunately. Oh, and I didn't even notice there was an invisible wizard next to us, but that's fine. And the rest of you, just baby orcs, can get absolutely dusted here. Shouldn't be too much of a concern. I would like to find that gosh darn ice caves if at all possible. Very distant melting archway does not bode well. I don't know, maybe this will be a fairly open orc one, and in fact it is kind of looking like that so far. So we see most of our friends coming our way. Yes, come one, come all, please and thank you. Well, we can just step on our stairwell, and I probably would like to take just the warg upstairs. Doesn't seem too bad. You know what, let's get you weak to fire damage. I was debating between that and blast motes. Again, blast motes would give us the bit of extra space, but that's fine. Does work out quite wonderfully. And now we can use blast motes the way Sif intended, you know? And absolutely blast the crap out of you. Perfect. And you with might, my friend. I'll also just bring a wandering. Wonderful. I don't think we're making it into this ice cave. If I had to hazard a guess. Again, we'll continue to explore a wee bit here and see what happens. I guess maybe head back up this direction. No, still distant, and it's looking like we're at the end of our rope here. Boomerangs can be ignored. Still very distant. Oh, I guess there is kind of some space down this way, so they could be over here. Still very distant. I'm gonna hazard a guess and say that this is on a completely separate section of orc, which means I don't think we're gonna make it. In fact, let's just settle and we'll head in and just finish exploring the old-fashioned way. It'll be sad if I turn this corner and immediately find the ice caverns, but not too bad. All things considered, does look like we've already collapsed our entrance, so really didn't matter at the end of the day here. Don't think we were going to make it one way or another. But okie dokie. Let's do another check-in, actually, with Dragon Form 52%, right, because we did lose a heck of a lot with the shield. Oh, I didn't even notice that we picked up Necromutation at some point. Don't think we'll get that castable over the course of a 3-rune Ogre run, but never say never. Who knows what the future of the dungeon has in store for us. And do I wish to continue in orc here? I think I just might. Let's pop down. Radiate is almost back to castable. We also have lots of ogre friends. Hello, brethren. So sorry it had to go down like this. Wish we could live together in peaceful harmony for the rest of our days, but such is the burden of the adventurer. And I'm definitely the victim here, not all the poor innocent ogres that I'm murdering in cold blood, of course. Let's not be ridiculous. Protagonists are always in the right. You gotta stop it with that arbalist, my friend. You have a problem. Didn't want to say anything, but here we are. Let's address it. And that is wonderful. So far, not too bad. Definitely seems relatively manageable, though we haven't come across any of the scarier orcs quite yet. And in fact, this big ol' structure, if I had to hazard a guess, is very likely to contain some of said big boy orcs. So let us just temporarily exclude you, my friend, and explore the rest of the floor to start off. Blast ya all, and not too shabby. Okay, our invisible friend was still there, but eventually took them out. No real issues here. And Flame Wave should be enough to do the trick. Radiate still as a good backup option, even though it's not super likely to always work out for us, so we don't want to heavily rely on it, but still does a fairly decent job of keeping us in one piece. And just get blasting. Fortunately, there's only the one orc warrior, so we don't need to worry about them ramping each other up. That's always the worst situation when you have two of them that can might each other, of course. Wow, that is really rough. Oh, how I wish we could wear gloves and armor, but whatever, we'll ignore it for now. Hopefully we don't get more armor shops, or if we do get armor shops, maybe something with a nice, I know, Ice Dragon scales would be okay. Still not perfect, though. That's a tough one. Should have checked the chances of being paralyzed, but I think with 3 pips of willpower, we're actually in a decent spot there. I will buy magic mapping, because that also seconds as a free identification, so that is beautiful. And well, let's see, yeah, 5 scrolls fog, that does make a lot of sense in hindsight. But regardless, still very happy to see it. Oh, and here we go. We can check again. Yeah, 1% chance to paralyze. You do love to see it. And then we just start blasting our way through that son of a gun. That is wonderbar. Okie dokie. I'm actually curious if Big Room has been opened, and it has indeed. So that's where these sons of guns came from, seeing as how we did explore most of the level prior to them coming crawling out of the woodwork. And an orc warlord. Hello, my friend. I can't even really like sneak a fireball past here because this son of a gun is hogging up the firing lane, but that's fine. How far can I hit? I can at least hit both of you bozos. So let's destroy you first and foremost. Forced things forced. And then we can kill the sorcerer, so that is also wonderful. And then we just leave, turn tail, and very bravely head upstairs. And we'll just do a little bit of round robining between these various stairwells. I do want to be a little bit cautious of this son of a gun coming next to us. And I'm also looking at that devil because they will inflict us with barbs, which, while not being the end of the world, is a pain in the rear. But we just fail fireball multiple times, just as intended. Perfect. All going according to the grand master plan, of course. But we will just continue to reset. Play it a little bit on the safe side, if all possible. Let's not waste a fireball on just a baby orc. Like, trying to work out when it's worth it to try and fight the warlord. How many fireballs do I have to hit in a row in order for it not to be a risky endeavor? Baby orcs can just walk in and we won't worry too much about you, Kiddlywinks. And okay, here we go. Do you have fire resistance or something? No, you have poison resistance. That shouldn't matter. But let's instead go with the old blasty strat and see how things go. That does at least open up a space here, so that's lovely. Curious if we can even out damage your natural regen, my friend. It does not seem like we can, or at the very least, it's very, very close. Maybe I just need better rolls, though. So this is my life now, just forever circling this pillar of stone until I fail blast motes and then die an embarrassing death. But let's get you weak to fire. I was hoping that would help do a little bit of additional damage. Again, I'm still not fully convinced as to what damage type blast motes does, because it seems to be something that could straddle the line. You know what, maybe we very stupidly try and fight you mano a mano here. 55 damage is a lot. So it does make sense why that did not, in fact, work. Sorry, my friend. Even after all this dancing, you and I will have to leave you hanging. Because I am a fool. Robe of Cold Resistance could definitely be nice. Okay, now this is potentially more like it. Start Foxfire. Then we blast ya, then we blast ya, and so on and so forth until the heat death of the universe. So tempting to fight, but I don't want to die in stupid fashion. Not today. At least not this early today. Don't get me wrong. It very likely will happen at some point. Just not quite yet. We'll bring you upstairs, my friend. I don't know how we keep gaining a step on you. Something's a little bit strange there, but I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. Let's phone a friend. Perfect. There we go. That seems to go much better. Oh, and you had a heavy weapon. That's why we kept gaining steps, and also why you hit like a gosh darn truck, my friend. But maybe now we can finish off the last wee bit of this level. Just the one single baby orc they left behind to guard the shops. And there we go. Made it through Orc in one piece here, only slightly terrifying at times. Still have, I guess, a little bit more of Orc 1 to do, which we probably will immediately head up to do so, but I wanted to check in on our skills here as well. Definitely moving pretty slowly at the moment here. Not a whole lot of excitement going on in that regard. Do I take you two down? No, I probably just blast, right? That deals enough damage to be worth it here. Can head down with just you, my buddy old pal. And these imps are a good indication that we have finally found the entrance to those ice caverns that we unfortunately were unable to access. But that is totally fine. Still a little bit of experience for us. I will take it. And slowly but surely wipe out the entire population of white imps. Lovely. Well, okie dokie. I guess that is Orc for the time being. Again, fairly smooth, all things considered. Does mean that we don't get a heck of a lot out of it either. Let's do a quick check on the floor for maybe something we could use. I mean, there are these robes here, which aren't horrible by any stretch of the imagination. But we do get contaminated for switching out of our current robe, so we don't want to do so on a dime. It will have to be a fairly dedicated decision, which I do not feel we're at quite yet. So maybe we'll leave that bad boy for the moment here. And what do we wish to do? Maybe check out Lair 5. Oh, or to go to regular dungeon, actually. Let's clear through most of 12 to 15 of regular dungeon. Should be able to manage that fairly well with just our current setup here. Oh, stop. Not 1, sorry. 11 is what I was aiming for. There we go. Fortunately, doesn't really matter. Oh, Nurgle was on this floor. Oh, let's definitely go take care of you now that I've maxed out negative resistance. Perfect. Yeah, fortunately, turn count doesn't really matter too much on an Ogre character like this. I doubt we'll be hitting even remotely close to Zot catching us, but still would prefer not to walk all the way to D1, even just from a personal convenience standpoint. Step into this, my friend. Perfect. Oh, gargoyles. Definitely a pain in the butt on most characters. Oh, I guess I don't have an amulet yet, so I might as well put on Amulet of the Acrobat. Ring of Ice can at least hit the deck until we get Dragon Form online. Once we have Dragon Form, we will need cold resistance in the form of a ring. but we will burn that bridge when we get there, of course, and for the time being, don't need to worry too much about it. Let's give ourselves just a wee bit of space there. Perfect. Trying to expend a little less than our usual MP by mixing in the occasional swipe of our fire staff here, and so far seems to be working out, not too poorly here. And if we can just take care of you kiddos a few at a time, definitely leaves us in an advantageous spot. Perfect. Oh gosh, there's so many of you though. Hello, my friends. Didn't realize you were hosting a little bit of a slime convention here. We could, I guess, just block out the door, but there's no real impetus to do so. We're not in danger per se. We're just kind of in this stalemate until the end of time, unstoppable object, immovable force, and all that good stuff. As I walk into the unknown, just hoping that we don't run into any new and exciting friends. Fortunately, does not seem to be the case, and so it's not the end of the world here. Oh gosh, definitely would not want to be slowed by our Wraith buddy. Can I even? Is that only if you deal damage? It is, but it also doesn't look like you only deal negative damage. I think there's a bit of physical damage wrapped up into that stat, so what it all boils down to, I guess, is that we do not want to be hit by you. A bit of slowness would probably ruin my day. I could drop the slime into a pit. Now we won't worry too much about it for now. Instead, just smack ya. We smack ya, and that is beautiful. Back to exploring the rest of the floor. I can't imagine there's a whole lot more. Okay, besides a bunch of additional slimes, fair enough. Kind of just asking for that one. Hello, my friend. Let us... Huh? How? Question from the audience, DCSS. 2 different slimes walked over my blast motes. Okay, so 2 slimes walk into a blast mote. Ouch. Okay, well, regardless, we'll just breeze past that as if nothing strange happened, I guess. A mystery for the ages, as it were. Maybe a human brain was not meant to comprehend such incredible truths. Biblically accurate angel and all that. But for the rest of you kiddos, we will just do some good old rotating. You know what? This has reframed blast motes in my head because they are just an anti-attack of opportunity enabler. Does this just mean that I'm bringing back the pillar dancing days? Is this my life now? Will I never recover? Okay, blast me away, please and thank you. I mean, just look, it just works so well that it's hard to say no. You know? But it is what it is, and I'm more than happy to take advantage of it since I would like to, if at all possible, not die on this run. Again, dealing with shocking truths here. Very hot takes, not wanting to die, but here we are. Ooh, finally get some throwing nets back to replenish all of the ones we lost in the unfortunate boulder beetle incident of 93. But they are out of here. Oh, and I didn't even notice that Sif gave us some more spells. We have Petrify and we have Storm Form. So if we don't end up loving the idea of Dragon, then we at least have Storm. I'm trying to remember if Storm at least lets me keep my shield. Because that would be worth a lot, to be fair. If I can keep the resistance shield available in a form that also has a decent damage output, then color me convinced. That will definitely be our plan. I also just noticed I've been carrying around degeneration potions this entire time. So that was probably something we should have thrown out when we were desperate for inventory space in the gauntlet earlier. But that's fine. Oh, and I went with the risky play there. Went for our single stacked scroll, hoping that it would be acquirement. I don't know, maybe we have 2 acquirements. More likely, we just have no acquirements. We pop in here, though. Oops. Did I accidentally select all with... Okay, I don't think I selected all by accident. Let's instead, though, go to items not yet recognized. Acquirement, amnesia, brand, weapon, and vulnerability. So it's probably big stack is amnesia. Another one is vulnerability. The 4 and 2, I think they were. I mean, we'll see. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. Wouldn't that be lovely? But I'm not going to hold my breath at this moment, at least. Ooh, but I would like a wand of roots. Even happy to get rid of our halberd for now. We're kind of past the point of needing to rely on less than ideal melee weapons as a backup, and instead we at least have our fire staff. I know I'm probably going to live to regret these words, but we will live by them at least for the moment here. And if we could just get to blasting you, my friend. Aw, shucks. I was hoping we could take you down real quick before you had the opportunity to merge, but fair enough. And just keep doing our general blast moat strategy. Not doing especially well in my space management as we continue to land right next to you, but that's fine. I'm sure we'll be okay. Now that we've gotten some space that I'll immediately lose some of because, again, I'm terrible at movement. But we will take advantage of that little bit of space, and that should be wonderful. Hopefully not too much more to contend with over the rest of this floor here. Definitely not a heck of a lot more to explore. Ooh. Centaur could be a little bit of a problem, or not at all, because the fire elementals are just going to get in the way. I guess that is the beauty of using something that, using a spell that they're completely immune to. Does work out in the short run there. Beautiful. Also getting a bunch more large stones gives us some kind of elemental agnostic damage that we can potentially try to lay down the hurt with in the future. Oh, excuse me, friend, if you could come right back this way. Beautiful. That's G13 down. Again, we're slowly but surely crawling up. Failure rates are looking a lot better. They're definitely getting there, but still have a wee bit of work to go. Doesn't seem like we're going to be winning any speedrun points on this attempt. As it is turning out to be a little bit on the slow side, but I'm still very much happy to deal with that if it ensures our survival into the future of the run here, at least to the point where we can start steamrolling with transmutations. Let's actually take a peek. Speaking of transmutations, still probably a long ways off from dragon form. And I guess storm form is just gonna be longer, right? It's the same level, is it? It is the same level, but requires air magic too. I cannot remember for the life of me if storm form, you get to keep your shield. It's kind of an argument for if we find statue form. I might just be happy with statue form for the moment here because it will allow us to keep a lot of our equipment and we'll have really solid resistances across the board there. But again, still a little early days for making any finalized decision in any of this, so with that in mind, let's just continue up and at 'em forward for honor and glory here.